Well, Gerald, I guess how happy you had to have fans back in attendance here in San Diego on Saturday.
I'm super excited for that. I fought on the last card with fans before all the COVID stuff, so it's been like 2 years, and I can't wait to be in front of a full crowd.
So after Saturday, is the UFC comes back to you and says, "Oh, we want you to fight on this Apex card." Is it going to be harder to say yes to that, knowing that some of these fighters are going to get audiences back more often?
I mean, I would prefer to be in front of a live audience, but as long as I'm fighting, I'm happy.
And look at your opponent, Bruno Silva. What do you make of him as an opponent? A lot of power, a lot of knockout wins. What do you make of his skill set?
I think he's very similar to me, but maybe a little more on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like, he actually does everything pretty well. He scrambles well. I believe he's a black belt, but he's, you see him in grappling exchanges. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to move. But he has, more power in his hands where, I stand up with a lot of guys that are supposed to be really good world-class strikers, but I just tend to choke people out more often than not. So I think we complement each other real well in that way.
Well, kind of going off of that, just from the outside looking in, just looking at your record, you have like 20-something like submission wins, most in UFC middleweight history. All of his losses have essentially been submission losses. So just on paper, is the path to victory that easy, or do you see a lot more in there? Breaking down his skill set.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be easy at all. I expect a really hard fight. I expect it to, go into the third round, and a lot of my submissions come because I've, kind of softened him up on the feet first. I've seen some guys go after him before and just try to strictly grapple, and it doesn't end well for him because, like I said, he has a well-rounded skill set and he knows what he's doing, and then he's good about ending up on top. And if you're not ready for those blows to come crashing down on you, you can put your lights out.
And kind of going off of that, do you think you get enough credit when like these outlets make these lists of like best finishers, most violent fighters, this and that? Like having 20 plus submission wins at this point, I figure you'd be on those lists more often, correct?
Yeah, you would think so. I don't know. I think maybe it's like just the way I do things. Like maybe it's not the most aesthetically pleasing because it's not like a one punch knockout. Because you look at a lot of my fights, I've rocked a lot. I don't have a high knockdown rate, but I've rocked a lot of guys where you can see him doing the chicken dance. And like I hurt a lot of people on the feet and I go for it, but it just doesn't look the same as, I don't look like Francis Ngannou. Not that many people do, right? But, I'm out there to fight and put on a good show. And I think I do a good job of that. So I got a decent following, and I think my fans know that. But yeah, I'm just, I don't talk that much. I'm just like a regular guy. So no one wants to be like hopping on that bandwagon, I guess.
Sure. And where did you do this camp? Because I know you were at Rufus Sport for a long time, but I think on Instagram I saw you some stuff at Kill Cliff MMA. Or
I did pretty much the whole camp at Kill Cliff. So, when I'm at home, I do a lot of training with Bilal Muhammad, and then as it got closer to fight time, I did good 6-8 week camp at Kill Cliff.
What was the decision to make that transition? Just more bodies to train with?
Yeah, more bodies to train with. Rufus Sport have been my home for a long time, and I'll always be good with those guys, but they're just more in a, rebuilding phase right now. A lot of the bigger guys and more experienced guys either retired or, had moved on to go somewhere else. So it just didn't have enough bodies, and they just got a lot of young up and coming guys, and they're all lighter weight. So I just had to, find somewhere where I'd get the work I needed, and that seemed like the perfect fit.
And unrelated to this fight, I don't think many fans know that you're 1-1 with Sam Alvey in there, I believe, correct? On the regional scene, a lot of fans are now calling for him to retire after his last loss. So what do you make of fans saying that to fighters in Sam Alvey's future? I think today he even said he wants to box one of the Paul brothers if he doesn't do MMA moving forward. Yeah,
I mean, I think that'd be great if you could box one of the Paul brothers and like get that check. You know what I mean? He's a veteran. He's put in a lot of work for it, and obviously he got cut from the UFC, but he's another guy. He's always game. He always goes out there and puts on a show. You got to make sure you take a good look at your health, right, and make sure the brain's right, because his fighting style is not conducive to like good brain health. But if he's good, you know what I mean, and he's enjoying what he's doing, he does what he does well, and more power to him.
Gerald, what's up, man?
What's up, OG?
I heard you're a fun guy.
I'm a pretty fun guy.
Hey, bro, with you having your jits background and guys like Bo Nickel getting a lot of hype around them, how do you think those guys are going to match up in the UFC?
I think Bo will do real well. I actually got to work with him a while ago. Actually, probably maybe a year ago now or something like that. But yeah, really nice guy. Moves really well. So like firsthand, I've got to move with him, and very receptive to any knowledge I had to give to him. But he's good. His grappling is going to translate really, really well. Obviously, he comes from a long line of really great wrestlers from the Penn State program. He's got a lot of competition under his belt already, just through that, both nationally and internationally. And I think he's got a great approach. We heard him said in the interview, he was like, "Look, we're gonna wrestle," and that's like some guys get in there and they want to knock everyone out, right? But for him to recognize that, like, he'll still have his moments, but to stick to your bread and butter like that, I think he's going to do really well.
And then I just wanted to know, in the last fight with Jocko, it kind of seemed like you had your feet in the mud a little bit. It was a little bit of a slower fight for you. What's going to get you going again this time, brother? Because you had the 3-fight win streak. What's going to get you back there?
Yeah, so that one, some like people will say I'm slow sometimes, right? And then I'll go back and watch the fight. I'll be like, you just weren't paying attention. But that one, I watched it back, and even I was like, damn, I'm slow. I did not look athletic in any sense of the word. But I think there's a lot of things behind that. But I changed scenery. I was at a brand new gym. For the first time in my career, I really had to like travel somewhere and be, kind of by myself as far as like not being with my family and everything for a training camp. So I did nothing. It's kind of like back when I was younger, you do nothing but like eat, sleep, train, and then go fight. So I went back to doing that. I had plenty of guys my size. I had plenty of good work and good instruction, lots of good hard training. So whatever I did wrong or didn't do that last camp, I think I've more than corrected for that. And mentally, physically, I feel like I'm in the best spot I've ever been in.
So you're obviously the dog going into this fight. And we know you got that history of subs. So are we going to hammer the GM 3 by sub line?
It'd be really hard not to, because statistically, that's like pretty much all I've done. I have the one knockout, and every time I say, like, you're going to see my stand-up, like you do, but then I choke them out anyway. So, yeah, hammer that sub line.
Appreciate you, bro.
Awesome. We're all set.